Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nowley. So I'll be your instructor for the upcoming semester for Chem 11. And in this welcome video, I really want to just spend some time talking about the website that I've created for this class. The reason being that a lot of information will be available from this website, and you want to spend as early time as possible to get accustomed to how the website is organized so that when you need to find information, you can find them very quickly. So the first thing I want to mention here is the home page for the website. And on the home page, there are several important things to note. One is the class calendar. So the class calendar basically tells you, what's going to happen every time there's a meeting between you and I. Okay, so these meetings might take place in the lecture hall, or they might take place in the lab room. If it's in the lab room, then only the students who are signed up or enrolled in that particular lab need to show up. Other students don't. But in lecture, everybody needs to show up. This is a fairly self-explanatory calendar. There are times when exams are shown or quizzes are shown. That means that you have to prepare to take those quizzes or exams. The other thing I want to mention here is how the website is organized on the left side. And you can see that there's several menu items here. And I will talk about some of them in more detail, some of them about less detail. The first one is called Learning Activities. If you click on that, it basically talks about some of the things that we would use in the class to talk about how to learn chemistry. I'll spend quite a bit of time on the first day of class talking about what I mean by flipped classroom, because this is how the class is going to be set up. But it's very useful for you to read through a lot of the description of these things. Some of these activities we might do, some of them we might not do. A lot of it depends on time and how effective the activity would be for a class of a certain size. The second component of the homepage that's really important is, of course, the syllabus, which, as you know, is basically a contract that is set for a particular class. So in the syllabus, you can see all the different, requirements for the class, right? Things that you will need to do in order to succeed, things that I expect out of the students, and things that I expect out of myself. Okay, so the syllabus is sort of a way, for me to describe what the class is going to be like and what you can expect out of this class. So you should read this carefully. On the first day of class, we'll talk about it, but really I want you to do some work ahead of time and read through this carefully. What I plan to do on the first day of class is actually ask you some questions about the syllabus. So there will be some sort of multiple choice, not a quiz necessarily, but a type of a question and answer where you have to answer the questions that I ask, participate. But it helps you to get used to this structure that I call the flip structure, where you're going to be doing some work at home, and then when you come to school or class, you're ready to engage in the material. Now, another thing that's important here is this this menu that says how to succeed. This is basically sort of the different, advice that I've accumulated over several years of teaching Chem 11 that students found to be the most useful. So I just put them here so that you can take a look at this very carefully and see whether you're already incorporating some of this advice or you have not, and how far you are from, actually doing the things that are mentioned here. And again, we'll spend a little bit more time talking about this in the first day of class. Now, the two things that I expect you to come back very often to, in fact, every week to look at are these two items here, which is the lecture topics and the labs. The lecture topics basically outline all the lecture topics that we would cover in this class. Okay, so there's 10 different lecture topics. Each lecture topic is further broken down into different components, as you can see. And the way the class is going to work is you will go to some of these components. This depends on the calendar. The calendar will tell you what to look at. So for example, I'll just give you a quick example here. If you look at lecture on, let's say, the second week of class, okay, because the first week we have a holiday. So the second week of class, it says lecture topic 1A to 1D. So what that means is if you go to the lecture topics, you have to prepare yourself to look through materials from lectures 1A to 1D. And what do I mean by preparing yourself? Well, this goes into that flip classroom structure that I'll talk a little bit more about on the first day of class. But basically there are videos that I've made, and right now these videos are not displayed here, but if you're using Google Chrome as a browser, you can click on the shield, click on the load unsafe script, and those videos would show up. Some browser would just show them right away, but Google Chrome has this particular issue. If you look at them, they're videos that I've made about that particular topic. Okay, so this was what I used to do in lecture. I would lecture on all this material. It's exactly the same way. But now what you have to do is you have to watch all these videos ahead of time before coming to class, and you have to also complete a questionnaire that's attached usually next to the video, and then turn in that questionnaire again before the deadline. The deadline is before lecture. Okay, so you just have to do it before lecture. Now remember, the calendar tells you when the deadline is, because the calendar would say, like earlier we talked about topic 1A to 1D, so that means by that date you have to finish doing all the assignments from 1A to 1D. And then when you come to class, I expect you to have done all of these and have an understanding of what's going on with topics 1A through 1D. And so what we're going to do in class is we're going to spend quite a bit of time actually working on, more advanced questions on those topics. Okay, but it's pretty much, that format repeated throughout the semester. So the lab is very similar. You're also going to be doing that. So again, you go to the calendar, it would tell you a certain type of lab is going to take place. Okay, so for example, in the first week, matter of fact, it says Excel graphing. So then what you have to do is you have to go to the lab site that says graphing with Excel. You have to watch all these videos and then submit this questionnaire. And then when we meet in lab, we'll talk about the questionnaires themselves, talk a little bit about the lab, anything that's unclear for you, and then we're going to work on the lab. Okay? So that's really how these two components of the website would work. And you're going to be coming back again and again to this every week, because every week there's going to be some assignments that you have to complete. I also have old sample exams that I've given and has been used, by students to prepare for my exams. They've been very useful. There's solutions to this. There's key to these exams. I also made video to solve every one of the questions in the exam, so you feel free to look at them and to prepare yourself for the actual exams. There's a couple more things I'll mention when we meet in class. Your grade would be posted after every major exam has been completed. So you'll receive something called a status report. This is from the previous semester, but you'll get your new ones as well. The other thing I want to mention is, one of the things that I always make available to students is myself. So I try to make it very easy for students to contact me. And so you can contact me by emailing me. You can come to this page if you don't remember, my email. You can just come to this page, and there's a form here that you can type in your name and your email address. That's a more important one, because and you type your question here and click submit, and I can reply to you as well. I also made it easy for you to do this anonymously by creating a cell phone number that you can use to text me, or to call if you prefer to call, but you can also text me. And again, this is great because if you don't want, some students have a hard time talking directly to an instructor. They might feel shy or scared. And if you just text me, the only thing that would show up is your phone number, and I would not know who that, text is coming from. The only thing I would do is respond. So I don't require that person to identify themselves. I just respond to the question. We also have a class Facebook page. I want you to go to this page and sign up to be a member. And I have an office on the campus, on the main campus, which is in Science 269. Feel free to drop by. I'm also going to do something with the virtual office hours. Right now this is not set yet, but we'll figure something out so you can also come and talk to me during office hours. Okay, so that's all I want to do in this video. What I want you to do again is take your time going through each of the components of the website, thinking about what is unclear, what is clear, and on the first day of class I really want you to come with some questions about the syllabus, about the website, about whatever else you have questions about, because I want you to come in prepared. Okay, and don't forget that for the first week of lab you want to watch that all the videos associated with this graphing with Excel lab, and then submit this questionnaire. And when we meet, we'll talk about how to go through this lab in detail. Okay? I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.